some guidance on how to search for a company that might be a safer space.
It's time
Culture cues, things like
to play video games.
recruiter who's reaching out to
So,
you uses pronouns in their email.
let's play.
Are there queer leaders who are out at that particular company? Does the company have
Today we're going to be starting a new game. It's called
those are
Agatha Christie,
indicators that that company might be a safer
the
space.
ABC murders.
Say, have that conversation with a recruiter.
And a few other Agatha Christie's that I can play also, but if this one turns out to be all right, we'll play the rest of them too.
Make sure that we're included, like,
So,
like it's not just maternity leave, but it's
let us,
like, or they have benefits that will help.
Let's go to the
actually expand their family. Are
the game screen and start the game.
It's also inclusive.
As you recall,
or
if you were watching,
right?
Absolutely, Andrew.
We downloaded the game yesterday, we set up all the settings and everything, and so now what I gotta do is just click on the game. Right here. This is it right here. Agatha Christie,
And I love my host. My host is
and
my host will not take. And my host is anti-weak.
his hose will not be.
This is mine.
He don't have a leaky hose.
Now infused with real copper. So you want
Okay.
it clean and lead-free. Just turn
I don't need those. I live in an apartment.
grow and grow.
So let's go to the game screen. Start up the game
It stretches and expands like
and
a
play.
And when you turn off the water,
Agatha Christie,
it goes shrinking and squeezing out
the
water.
ABC murders.
And that makes it easy to carry and put away. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. Then it's wrapped in an
Interactive racks. RT packs. Power 5.
Light and tough. 3 times stronger than the other.
Unity. I think there was a Star Trek game made with the Unity.
10 years.
What was it? The Star Trek Next Generation game?
And the redesign connector
It
protector.
was called actually the Final Unity.
But my favorite part of
Yeah.
the host bill, the oversized.
That was a pretty interesting game. It was a DOS-based game
On and off.
back in the 1990s, sometime, I forget.
100 patents worldwide. It's the
But,
best fucking host in the world.
If you all like Star Trek games, that was I recommend it. So, Agatha Christie, the ABC murders, click start. Hercule Poirot, 0%.
You'll have a setting for every job. It's a $30 value. Yours free every 50-foot copper bullet, but it's not available in stores. This is an exclusive release of our newest pocket hose. There is a strict limit of 3 per order. So don't order now.
To order, call 1-800-401-8930 or visit copperbullethomes.com. So call 1-800-401-8930 or visit copperbullethomes.com. Order now.
So let's begin. Play bonuses, options, profile. I did all that already. Ego points. Oh, we get to earn ego points, huh? Let's turn this down a little bit. Bonuses, I guess, as I play the game, I'll open up these bonuses, 32 of them.
Right now, we are.
13 bonuses, I guess these are like,
The
game art.
intention is to basically block fire, into fire, and create the best natural containment that we can. How does this fire compare to what
With the
we've
game
seen?
works.
It's different, we've got communities on the other side. So we can put our style of containment on it.
Alright.
Not there. It's just
Instructions.
put up like the darkest, most dirtiest, nastiest, all
I don't know what the instructions are. Oh!
Fires
Found what he saw as a puzzle.
and homes here in Canada.
Trophies, he gets to earn trophies. Cuban bow mustache. Walrus mustache. Pyramidino mustache. Marshall, pencil, curve and swoop. Hungarian, handlebar, candelabra. Casa, Imperial, Cat's Eye, Falcon's Eye, Eagle Eye, Neuron, Synapse, Cortex, Lustic Confessional, Romantic Confessional, Gothic.
Government failed to cover
40 floors, no length, no plate.
controversial technology.
CGM 133 per store. Small donkey, medium donkey, large donkey.
Become more
Wearing
fragmented.
tomcat,
More willing
cleaning
to take
tomcat. Don't know about that one.
who's going to do cut.
I hope he's not cleaning where I think cats usually clean. Single gear, double gear, quadruple gear, newspaper snow, incense murder. Natchez? Natchez? Natchez mustache? Braun? Einstein? Fantastical? Ah, the fantastical mustache. I guess it's a really flowery one. Samurai. Gandhi never had a mustache, did he? I don't remember Gandhi with a mustache.
The stuff that we're doing is
Sheriff?
we're out here, we're collecting
Dolly.
actual data points.
Black Swan? Morse Hammer? Telescope? Black Dragon? Dragon Smoke?
Through the clouds.
Secret Heart? Red Cross?
We collected actual
And
data.
gold paper knife.
The main objective of what we're doing is so that
Those are all the
we
terms
can
you can
collect this
get.
data in order to inform policymakers that are.
What? I don't think it's, yeah, that's it. Nothing. Right. So, without further ado, let's play. And you see, they're in construction. This is the bonus of yes.
This is NASA's DC research vessel.
June 18th, 1935.
With dozens of scientists on board, flights over oceans in major cities, collect air samples that help reveal how our climate works, what we could do to protect it.
Some post for you, Poirot.
Mr. Hercule Poirot, you fancy yourself, don't you, at solving mysteries that are too difficult for our poor thick-head British police? Let us see, Mr. Clever Poirot, just how clever you can be. Perhaps you'll find this nut too hard to crack. Look out for Andover on the 21st of the month. Yours extra, A, B, C.
Etc.
Oh, it's some sort of joke.
Maybe. But please remind me to inform Chief Inspector Japp.
That's madame. It's into a railway. You can pause this.
This effort to
Like Eagle Points,
understand
but
particles in our skies
in the
will
same
help
way.
the federal government tackle both pollution and climate change.
Oh,
What I can imagine is that we sort of refine the chemistry and microphysics associated with range of cloud formation, and then we incorporate these global models that are used to sort of predict global clouds.
here's a clue.
They need to deliver some relevant information that is used in common models.
Check something out. I thought so. Alright, let's
The
get
U.S. is one of several nations investing research into studying particles in our atmosphere for something called solar geoengineering. The work is going to be and Professor PhD, a leading expert in advanced science around climate technology.
Solar geoengineering is the idea that humans might deliberately alter the Earth's radiative balance between sunlight that comes in and infrared heat that radiates out.
It's here, Poirot. The murder took place in this street. Grim place indeed.
Tout à fait, Christine. The streets of Andover are in a terrible state.
Look, there's Chief Inspector Japp. He's talking with a policeman.
Let us try not to get our shoes wet.
The method that gets the most attention is called stratospheric aerosol
be
injection.
able to watch from the perspective from each crowd.
Like the time that regular aircraft flies, where articles last for a
Yeah,
couple of
it
years.
is. Go ahead and do
Those
that.
articles there, they would just add a little bit, 1% of something that that's the thing that by far the most thing we're most confident.
Click on the zone in the scene where you need to go.
When
the cursor changes,
acid into the strategy,
moving and
or and forms really fine particles.
keep holding the click and move the cursor to desired action.
This happens maybe a couple times a century in the way that we could.
Click on a zone in the scenery to go to when the cursor changes, keep
In
holding the click
1991, this volcanic eruption
and the
enveloped
cursor.
enough particles into the atmosphere to actually cool the Earth's temperature by about 0.5 degrees Celsius, which is a big deal when considering the globe's climate goals. The idea of doing this at a global scale, distributing aerosols by plane, can cost billions of dollars. But experts, including David Key, say it could end up saving much more money. More importantly, us humans.
This technology could be used to save a lot of lives.
That's a good
So
start.
what
Okay.
about the wildfires and heat waves? Why hasn't the world already embraced solar geoengineering? There's one big issue. The technology is still untested at a large scale. And even as advocates,
Exclamation
there's
point.
much more
A
research
blast?
before we start pumping
Or
solar into
no,
the
cigarette
atmosphere.
pack.
And while it could help lower our
Cigarette
climate,
pack?
it also opens the door to
What the hell
global
is this?
experiments,
Directions?
international conflict, and concern over the side effects of an unprecedented worldwide experiment. Just add on in real life, we see the dire stakes in cross-border controversy around solar geoengineering. I do think that we need to know.
No? Click and hold. Look at the trash, bro.
Instead of running with these, don't get cartridge.
This is click.
No more spinning needles and expensive cartridges.
Get cartridge. He cartridge. Click it.
Look, we know it's going to be a big change.
But it's the right thing to do,
How about he talk? Okay, you can make a toss.
We mother and I were different
Toss.
which is why we got Slim
Can't talk to
Jimmy's.
him. Can't talk to him. Can't talk to the horse.
That gets live sports and news, and I get my reality shows.
And we don't want to pay. You're not
Kitty cat.
hundreds of channels for free.
Frank is really keeping this family together.
You have no idea how happy I am.
Just follow the cursor. Oh, okay. That's cool.
If you've been in
What's up
an
to you?
accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up.
Don't dilly-dally, Poirot. Jack will be waiting for us.
Your case is potentially
I guess that's Jack over there, huh?
Gina, along with spokesperson Rob. Rob, tell the folks at home who should be calling right now.
Well, just like you said, Gina, anyone who's
Over
been in
here,
an
it's
accident
Hastings and
is not
Poirot.
your fault.
You missed the
If don't
9
have
o'clock
an attorney,
train?
give us a call
We took
right
the
now.
10:30.
We'll let you know what your
Luckily, the
case
service is good to
potentially
hand
worth.
over.
So, Chief Inspector, what do we have? The victim is called Alice Asher. She owned this tobacco shop. She was killed yesterday with a blow to the back of the head.
At what time?
Let me just check.
Take that first step, pick up that phone and give us a call. We're going to answer your questions and we'll let you know how much money you can get for your
Take advantage of the movements when the person you are with is busy in order to observe him her. You will obtain clues about their state of mind and personality.
Was made possible by
Left click and hold on Jack
You're not looking at
and hold and move the left with the left to select observe.
it's wrong. It's power
This is observe. Left, observe, stop. Oh, okay.
It's up to us.
Find 3 clues that agree with your response. Response to give you game. To guide your game.
Treasure today or sell tomorrow.
Is Jap being too relaxed? Let us find the clues that prove it.
10% off your first purchase at Maybach.com with code MaybachTV.
Relax.
Mexico is one of the countries most impacted by the world's worsening heat waves.
The immediate forecast for many Mexicans is finding any way they can to beat the heat.
As temperatures rose to
Indeed, Poirot. We were used to seeing you judge people with more discretion.
100 people died in the span of just 2 weeks. Most of the deaths came in the region around Monterey, just a 3-hour drive from the U.S. border. Surrounded by desert, deeply divided between rich and poor, and lacking reliable water access in many communities, Monterey is on the front lines of
probably on the back of the head.
Jab is in a good mood. I bet he thinks he's already caught the culprit.
Working here in this area. In terms of focusing on climate change.
The last customer to see Mrs. Asher alive left her shop at 5:30. The body was found at around 11 in the evening by an officer doing his rounds. The shop door was open. That's what alerted him.
Had anything been taken?
A little tobacco maybe, but you'd hardly murder for a few smokes. There's nothing of any real value in the shop.
What type of woman was Miss Asher?
In her 50s, married but separated, no children.
A husband?
Aha, Franz Asher, the husband. Alcoholic and violent. It's said that he regularly insulted his wife and threatened to kill her.
Excellent opinion. Say that it's
Just how severe have heat waves become in Mexico in recent years?
Do you think he's guilty?
We'll look for Franz Asher. If he doesn't have an alibi, the case is closed. A very unoriginal murder.
But
So what do you call him?
may I examine the crime scene?
Of course, old chap.
I'll be with you in a minute, Poirot.
That kills more people, more than hurricanes, more than any other effect, and is preventable.
So
Click
folks
on
here in
the
this
arrow
neighborhood,
in the bottom right hand
there's no
corner.
relief outside, and then they go
The screen
inside.
to
There's
display
still
the
no
menu
relief from
icons
heat.
in the inventory.
How does extreme heat impact different classes
Menu item
here
in
in
the
Mexico?
inventory. Good.
In Mexico, what is happening is that if you see in an aerial photograph or an aerial view, you see that there are certain areas that have a lot of trees, that have a lot of parks, and this is usually
cigarettes. That's
where
information.
more well socioeconomic people
I guess
live.
that means you discovered something.
And then when you
Cigarettes
kind
is
of like going to the
contemplative.
you can see that there is less and less vegetation.
The old gray cells.
They are
Is
at
that
home in a
the
hot
motive of the
environment.
crime?
They go out, they walk under the sun
The
without a
old gray
shade.
cells. Is that the
There
motive
is
of the crime?
not a break for them with the extreme heat.
Notebook. Oh, it's a notebook. She owns a tobacco shop, married to
As Mexico
Franz
deals with
Asher.
deadly heat waves,
She
we
lives
spoke
alone.
with leading atmospheric
Unless she was
scientist
married.
Rafael Raga.
She was
about
killed in
whether
her tobacco
experimenting
shop
with
by a
this
blow to the
atmosphere
back of the
is a
head.
potential solution to Pandora's box.
About 50
We
years
have
old.
seen elevated temperatures in many countries that are
That's
developing countries, and we know that creates problems
objective.
for
Inspect
large
the crime
numbers
scene.
of populations that don't have the means to protect themselves. And that's, as a human being, it concerns me not only as a scientist.
Are there any climate intervention measures that have stuck out to you as?
I'll be with you in a minute, Poirot.
I suppose you mean geoengineering.
Jab is in a good mood. I bet he thinks he's already caught the culprit.
We have known for decades,
Uh,
over 70
how do you,
that humans can change the
you
nature
save this?
of
Use the
how
bloom,
the
don't
cloud
quit.
fields over the ocean reflect the sunlight. Globally,
Huh.
you decrease the average temperature, but what does it
Yes.
do regionally to, in some areas we'll get more sunlight and some is less,
So-
and the patterns of precipitation will change.
Raga is
So
talking
you
about
can't
one
say?
often cited concern around
I
solar
guess you just say it's helping
geoengineering.
the
That blocking the sun in one nation to curb deadly heat waves could have unintended effects in neighboring nations.
Alright, so that's how you save, is just quit game.
Intense flooding, more severe
Your progress
drought.
is saved automatically.
So if that were to change,
Okay, you can look at that.
benefited and
You
who
can use that,
reaped
Jane Archer,
affected negatively.
tobaccotist,
So that's very serious, no? Because obviously we know that
tobacconist.
in developing countries and
Go inside.
low-income countries, they have
It's
very
enmity.
little say in the international fora, right?
Addressing inequality.
So who's going to look out for them when
Okay.
some nations decide to do it? So in that sense,
This fruit and vegetable shop has a front row seat, therefore an employee might have noticed something.
but I do think that we need
This
to
fruit and
know
vegetable
what
shop
happened.
has a
Former Canadian Prime Minister Kim Campbell is part of the
I don't
Climate
see
Oversight
the-
Commission. We don't have any global governance structure to manage this. The governance of solar geoengineering
How clumsy.
is the big,
Yeah.
800-pound gorilla in the room. Because the world has not created or empowered any global organization to take on this issue, to take on the issue of managing the research, evaluating the
I don't
research,
see the cursing
and
top. There you
helping
go.
to develop a global consensus on what
This
to do
place
or
is
not
run
to do.
down.
And the problem is that there may be some countries that want to try and go it alone, but, and could impose significant negative effects on other countries. We don't know yet.
Even if governments do find a way to coordinate on solar geoengineering, there's little to stop private citizens from trying to take matters into their own hands. In late 2022, a US-based company called Make Sunsets conducted its own experiment in Mexico, releasing small amounts of sulfur
This is a really
dioxide
cutthroat
into the
neighborhood.
skies above Baja
Anyone could have
California
committed the
to
crime.
demonstrate how solar geoengineering could be done
Because they
by
had to
private
put you
companies.
up.
They did this without permission from Mexico's government, which is a few weeks later, Mexico became the first nation in the
Don't step in the water.
world to ban solar geoengineering experiments. Putting draws a hard line against the technology that the U.S. government next door has been pouring millions of dollars of research into. Make Sunsets
Oh,
declared
you gotta step in the water again.
Dash, a
this
puddle.
experiment in
How
Mexico
clumsy.
have released less
Son of a
sulfur
bitch.
dioxide than a single 747 plane releases in 1 hour. And now until Mexico is ready to work with them, they're
Jab is in a good mood. I bet he thinks he is all ready.
At the tail end of the summer,
All right,
there
let's
has
go
been
to the shop.
heat wave after heat wave. I went to Mexico City to hear directly from Mexico's top environmental officials about their concerns around solar geoengineering and what they see as a path forward in protecting against extreme heat.
Nosotros enfáticamente decimos ahorita la ingeniería química.
He stepped the motive for the crime.
Sin contar con los permisos ambientales correspondientes ni del
She was
gobierno
back the
federal,
shop.
ni
All
del
right.
gobierno
She was
estatal,
still.
ni del gobierno
A bit to
municipal.
the
Damos
head.
a conocer como la primera empresa en el mundo que está haciendo este tipo de experimentos
Inspect the crime scene.
y sin medir claramente lo que son las consecuencias.
For the Mexican government, Make
Let's go
Sunsets
back out, I
experiment
guess.
was a stunt
Let's
that
look at
crossed the line and not only violated
freaks.
Mexican law, but completely
The place
disregarded
is
concerns
unusually
Mexican
tidy for a
government
crime
has
scene.
about solar geoengineering and its potential impact on the planet.
Well, I have to click or just
Solar
smell it?
geoengineering that concerns Mexico.
Yo con ello tenemos una posición como gobierno de México también muy
Alright.
clara en el sentido
Well
que no
ordered shell,
podemos
so it's hover.
estar construyendo falsas salidas al cambio climático. Lo que hay que reducir urgentemente son las emisiones de gases de efecto invernadero. Entonces, no se trata de generar una salida falsa. al
Nothing
cambio
suggests any sign of a fight.
sino atacar las causas que finalmente están ocasionando eso.
Like many governments feeling the brunt of Earth's warming climate, Mexico's leadership says the greatest tool for stopping climate change is international collaboration. How important is communication between countries when it comes to exploring
Nothing
climate
suggests
and
any
emergency
sign of a
measures?
fight.
Creemos mucho del compromiso de estas relaciones que podemos
I guess
tener
it's
armónicamente
take a
con
little
otras
get used to
naciones
it.
para enfocar el cuidado de la casa común. La casa común es el planeta Tierra y tenemos una responsabilidad todos los países.
Next on In Real Life, Mexico, Canada, and the United States show what the future of international cooperation could look like in the fight against climate impacts.
Turn it up, and it's like holding,
to continuously do it.
and moving the mouse.
It's not just any railway guide. It's an ABC.
The big story. What you want to know about the news is what happens next.
It's open at the letter A. There are no prints on the book.
The stairs takes you ahead of the headlines.
We're reading between the lines there.
It's time to understand how the news you see today.
It's not just any railway guide. It's an ABC.
American Tonight with Marie Taylor. Weeknights at 8/7 Central. Only on Scripps News.
I still can't believe she's gone. These past few days have been a whirlwind.
Great Central Railroad, ABC.
I just wasn't prepared.
An original tale told in the
Didn't
train.
know about those policies. I had no idea how expensive all this would be.
I know. I didn't want to talk
I
about
doubt
it.
this has anything to do
She
with
made
it,
us do it.
but I just
And the
love
payment
to look at
is
little
on the way
shit.
already. Everything was as fast as they said.
We will always make sure we were prepared.
I can't believe you both were able to
Look,
qualify with your
Marks.
health issues.
That's why we chose United of Omaha Life Insurance Company. They were
Look, dog-eared pages.
medical exams and our acceptance.
It's open at the letter A.
Help your family prepare for the
There are no prints on the book.
time comes. If you are between 45 and 85, you automatically qualify for up to $25,000 in life
Red
insurance
liquid is
coverage with
oozing
United
out.
of Omaha.
Is it blood?
Policies start at just $6.38 a month, and your acceptance is guaranteed. You cannot be
It could
turned
be
down
like
for
today.
any health reason. There are no
Pizza?
medical exams and no health questions.
No,
Plus
it's
benefits
just
can
some
be paid
strawberries that are
24
losing their
hours,
juice.
unlike some policies.
They probably come from the fruit and vegetable shop
I didn't
opposite.
think you would be able to get a life insurance policy on your fixed income.
Just,
With United of Omaha, policies start at just $6.38 a month.
that means that's been looked at. Okay.
Byron is locked in for life.
A funeral could cost more than $9,000,
One
and
more
prices
thing.
rise each year. Have you helped prepare your family to pay for these expenses when you're gone? With one call, in as little as 5 minutes, you can qualify for up to $25,000 in life insurance coverage.
Just like your mom, taking care of us even after she's gone.
Help take care of your loved ones after you're gone with a guaranteed
It's not
acceptance
just
life
any
insurance
railway
policy
guide.
from United of Omaha today.
Call 800-921-2464. That's 800-921-2464.
Red liquid is oozing out.
800-921-2464. Call today.
Helping families with mesothelioma
No,
is
it's
all
just
we do.
some strawberry.
Our firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years.
What
Since
else?
that time, thousands with mesothelioma have trusted
What am I
us to
missing?
represent them against those responsible. We have local offices throughout the U.S.
What am I
Mesothelioma really
missing?
is all we do, and there is no risk to you. Let us put a plan in place for you and your family. Call now. Call us at 800-872-5645 or go to mesolaw.com.
Is there another clue here?
Back in Canada, local firefighters team up with crews from around the world, including the U.S. and Mexico. It's an example of the international coordination Mexico's government wants in the fight against climate impacts. Tamaulipas is a Spanish-speaking
There's only
Canadian
two things here to
firefighter
look at.
working with Mexican crews here for a month-long deployment.
Forest fires are the only natural disaster that we convince ourselves that we can
What am I
control.
missing?
You think about, like,
Why does it say
tsunamis,
to-
earthquakes, floods? Those are all just considered part of our natural world.
Ah,
But somehow, when we talk about forest
There you
fires,
go.
like,
The counter
forest
is
firefighters and the job
covered
that
with
they do,
fingerprints
it becomes
all on
very
top of one
measurable.
another.
As in, like, this is a success or a
Unfortunately,
failure.
it will not be possible to use them.
Alright.
What's it like to have so many crews from different parts of the world come in?
We explain the presence
It's a
of
big
the
deal,
DC gun
especially
samples.
when the increase it seems
That's
every
the
year
water
of
for the
fires. Just feels like if it's not every year, it's every other year. You hear the words unprecedented, record-breaking, unheard of. It's a real grind. And it takes a special
There
kind of
are
person
cigarette
to
packets
continuously do it.
in a mess on the shelf. There are
For
cigarette
Jones and
packets
other
in a mess on the
firefighters across
shelf.
North America, fire
Yes.
station has become an almost continual battle. to
There are
protect
cigarette
communities
packets
near
in a
and
mess
far.
on the shelf.
As the impacts of wildfires and extreme heat grow,
Why,
the conversation around technological
what,
solutions has drawn
There
more
are
attention
cigarette packets
and
in a
more
nest on the
controversy.
shelf.
More than 400 scientists and academics have signed an open letter calling for a worldwide ban on solar geoengineering, arguing that without
She just has
coordination
one
between
wound on the
neighboring
back of her head.
nations, it's impossible
There are no
to
other
tear
wounds or
recover
sign of
use
the struggle.
sunblock particles
Maybe
in
something
our
fell and hit her on the
atmosphere.
head?
And while a growing body of
This poor
research
woman's
shows
head
its
is
positive
resting in a
potential,
very
only
even-shaped
advocates
pool of
say
blood.
solar geoengineering alone won't heal our planet. It can't solve the problem, and it will
I
never
can't see
get rid
any
of the
other
need
mark on the
to
floor.
reduce the amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
I can't see any other
What
mark
can we
on the
do
floor.
while we still have time to do it? And will something like solar
She has a packet of
geoengineering
play
be a
cigarette
device
next to her hand.
that buys us time?
Did she drop it when she
Maybe.
fell?
But that's the most it will do. The most it can do is buy us time.
The body is hidden by the counter and is not visible from the tobacco shop's door. Many customers must have thought that Mrs. Asher had popped out.
Popped out? No, yeah, she popped out already.
Thanks to AI. I'm on a date with a bot.
So, Poirot, any news?
So, an ABC guide with no fingerprints but prints all over the counter.
In the conservation
Normally, the tobacco shop does not sell ABC guides.
Exact. Mon ami, could you have a word with the neighbors? Some may have seen something.
Of course, my friend, I'll do it straight away.
Alright.
Norway is really
so-
pushing deep sea mining ahead. A lot of that stake there.
This what about crime?
At Consumer Cellular,
Yeah.
we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers.
There been an accident.
But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us.
He was planning on going on a trip.
It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become
Something fell off the shelf and hit her on the head.
enough and done. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we got that too. We got flip phones like the Iris Flip. For someone that doesn't need all that mumbo jumbo and just wants something
Something fell and hit her on the
you
shelf.
gotta watch it.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our SmartFlex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Let's say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data.
I hate these clumsy
The next
controls.
data tip for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex
The
right
door
back
is
down with no
locked.
penalty, so you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact
the
same
door is
nationwide
locked.
coverage as the leading carriers, but at half the cost.
I know what you're thinking.
The door is
Some of these
locked.
amazing stores, am I telling you? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Somewhere.
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over? Or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it
Does she
easy?
have keys?
The body is hidden by the counter and is not visible from the tobacco shop's door.
It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, and supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers who buy any phone get 2 months of service free when they sign up by July 31st. Call 1-800-485-8390 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Good luck with that.
I am
What are these supposed to be, like rose-colored
possibility of
glasses?
the terrorist attack in the country after October 7th.
They're threats to America and the source of major flashpoints around the world.
Nothing suggests any sign of a fight.
In Gaza,
This is a larger battle. Our battle is your battle.
to Russian aggression in Ukraine,
But the door
not
is
to mention
locked.
China's rise.
Chinese aspirations for greater geopolitical power will probably become all the more apparent.
Now, on Scripps News Report, the state of the world and a focus on the Americans keeping us sick.
Having to have
So,
assistance
it's
in order to feed your family. You're protecting our country. As long as
you have thoroughly examined the crime scene? Not yet.
A heart to heart with
Crime
great
scene.
members of our military.
I haven't finished inspecting the crime scene.
Where understanding what that difference would be.
This is a special edition of Scripps News Reports, Path to the White House.
Door is locked.
I'm Lindsay Pena in San Diego.
The door is
Here is
locked.
a vital part of America's military, and that's
There
how
are
it's been
cigarette
since
packets
the First
in a
World
mess on the
War.
shelf.
In minutes, you'll hear from some of the people working to make America
There are
safer
cigarette
and stronger.
packets
Their
in a
names
mess on the shelf.
talented and their struggles in focus. And then later this half hour, the two leading presidential candidates, where they stand on major issues around the world. But we want to start with that focus on the people behind the uniform. From North Carolina to
I think
Colorado Springs, from
secrets
Georgia to
behind
Texas,
complex
from
mechanisms.
Florida, across Ohio, to right here in California. Members of the military
It's up to you to decipher them in order to find what they are hiding. Observe the object from all angles by holding the click and moving the mouse.
In San Diego, the military is always
Who was it? Some Spanish guy from Mexico? Zoom in by clicking on part of the object to the left one.
The
Mouse.
iconic
Zoom out
USS Midway is
using the right
docked here
button. Okay.
and serves as a scenic
Or
landing
click
for
on the arrow
paratroopers.
icon. Some elements move by holding
Pendleton that gives a
the
clue
left
San
click
Diego
of the
is
mouse
a
and
military town. It's one of the first things you see
The
when
tail
driving
does not
into the
appear to
county.
have been touched. I have to check that nothing is missing from it.
Retired Navy fighter pilot Jim Kidrick is passionate about sharing the military story. He's CEO of the San Diego Air and Space Museum.
If we ever went to an all-out war, San Diego is one of the targets. There's no doubt about that because it's so valuable.
Valuable because San Diego is the largest concentration of the military in the entire world. An estimated 110,000 active duty service members are based here.
Something is preventing the
350,000
drawer from
civilians
opening.
work in defense-related jobs, and a quarter of the country's active duty
How much would a
Marines
pack of
are
cigarettes
here.
cost?
They train at MCAS Miramar.
Let's say-
and Pendleton. Naval Base Coronado, the most elite, will be
It would be best to
Navy
examine the
SEALs.
rest of the tail.
Only a quarter of candidates survive the grueling and sometimes deadly Hell Week that tests physical endurance and mental toughness. Coronado is also home to helicopter squadrons. Here, sailors conduct search and rescue training. Nearby at Naval Base Point Loma are some of the most capable attack
A mechanism
submarines
has
in the
just
world.
made a fan click.
There's well over $50 billion added to the economy every year with what we have.
Kidrick says San Diego has always welcomed the military, and
I can tell you, having been
It is
stationed
blocked
here
by
multiple
something.
times, the military cares about San Diego.
an impressive military town that's more than just beautiful. Austin Gravish, Scripps News, San Diego.
Let's dig in with some veterans, opening up about the issues that matter to
Something
them.
goes in here?
I recently sat down with a group of them. We begin with Chad Lunsford, a recently retired Master Chief in the U.S. Navy who served for 30 years. Joey Jerome, a retired Navy Chief. Joe Yordi, Navy veteran and member of the LGBTQ+ community. Ashley Kamak, CEO of 0800 and a military spouse. Ms. Iris Wilkins, Marine Corps veteran and current welding teaching assistant at Workshops for Warriors. And last but certainly not least, Bob Lawrence, a former military reporter. And thank you all for being here and giving us your time. We want to dive right into our questions.
Well,
Some of you have
unlocked it.
recently retired, and some of you have been out of the service for a while now. What would you say was the most challenging thing for you
Hi.
while transitioning back to civilian life?
32 years as an adult, I've been told what to do by the military, so now I'm going to go into civilian employment.
Pound?
Don't even really know what it looks like. It's just a different animal that
Right.
you think you're prepared
It was a
for,
pound sign.
but you're not.
I think that I've watched my husband struggle with understanding what that difference would be when he took on that civilian role. And I watched him struggle with things that he was told to do every day for 20 plus years. But I saw him excited to reacclimate with the
It is
community
blocked
and
by
really
something.
come home and be home. And
It would be
feel
best to examine the
that
rest of the
family
tail.
again that he would lose every time he would deploy.
From my own personal experience and through other veterans that I know,
veteran homelessness is actually something pretty common, or just finding the ability or the resources
The tale is full
to
of money,
prevent
but there
going
is something
homeless. So
strange.
oftentimes veterans find themselves in
Five,
positions where they're
what was the
outserving,
other?
and some might even have families, and they can't access these resources until they've already spent their first days on the street. So along with transitioning in our TRS programs that we have, just knowing what resources are available to you or how to access these as a preventative measure would be really helpful.
I got out almost 18 years ago, and I'm only now taking advantage of VA benefits that I was entitled to for that entire 18 years. Because
the 2, and there was a 5.
I was entitled to those benefits.
Dash 2.
I encourage anyone watching this to ask a lot of questions
And
to explore
dash
what those
5
benefits might
dash.
be.
No secret that San Diego is a very expensive place
Something
to
is
live.
hidden underneath.
How do the current economic conditions impact the wallets of people in the military that you still know right now, and those of you who are out?
Cost of living's rough. Normal cost increases for sailors, service
8
members
dash
doesn't keep
dash,
up.
right?
Especially if you're a younger sailor, maybe junior in pay
8
grade,
dash
and
dash.
you've got a family, trying to live anywhere close to San Diego. Plus,
2,
San Diego
5,
itself
8.
has a bit of a housing crisis going on, so just finding a place.
Okay.
Rent is well above the age in most cases,
So-
so it's hard. Solutions
That
wise,
means it's in the-
I'm sure
it's in the
somebody's smart
middle.
enough, he's looked at it at one point, but why is active duty or
And,
military paid taxed?
That's
That
the
little bit of
beginning.
money back in a sailor's pocket or a service member's
And then
pocket would
the
make
2.
huge quality of life improvement. So
Is
if
at
people are
the end.
looking for ways to fix it,
So 8,
can't
5,
change
2.
how expensive San Diego is, but maybe putting a little
8,
bit of money
5,
back in
2.
a service member's pocket for the family would be beneficial.
I think it was sobering for me, covering the military, to actually see E3s and below in a food line.
This
Having to
must be
have,
the key to the back of the shop.
Assistance in order to feed their family. And that was sobering to me. It was like, you're in our country. Why is it you have to stand in line with food?
Onto
an element in the scenery or a person.
Both from a
Yeah, I think
family
that you-
perspective and as the CEO of a nonprofit,
Did you
we're
stock?
looking at the cost
Did
of
you
living
stock
here,
in
but
your
really
in your
working through
inventory? Could
assessing
be
what the
also
challenge is. Are
can
we
also be
reaching
examined more
service
closely.
members
Yes.
far enough in advance to be able to give
on
some
and
education and
onto the inventory.
proactive
Where's the
support
inventory?
and understanding this market? When you're in the military,
Okay,
you're
so
very
it's the
focused on the
inventory.
mission, and when you leave the military, you now are outside those lines, and this is all new to them.
Joe, you served during the
Single here.
If you could, take us back to that
Plus
time
5
and,
equal
and
points.
just share with us some of the challenges that you personally faced.
Between 2002 and
Where's the
2006.
inventory?
There are
I
cigarette
served
packets
here,
and rest
especially
on the
board
shelf.
ship. I was careful, but
How do you get to the inventory?
I
There's the
did
inventory right there.
in my personal life, it caused, I think, unnecessary
A large
stress in
key
my life.
for us,
And
a large rusty key
I was so
found
glad
in
to see it
Amethyst
overturned.
Archer's too.
It's one of the main
There's
reasons
a
I got
rope,
out of the
there's a
military,
key.
and
In Alice's.
I hope that queer servicemen and women are serving it. I hope their experience is better than mine.
I wanted to hop in on what you said, that you hope that
There's a
these
key.
service members are living a better experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
It's definitely where, for any of the service members that I've at least met, like, whoever they are, they're true, they're doing their mission, that I'm thankful that they're able to be true to themselves too.
That's great to hear.
And, yeah.
What things do you think the military can do to alleviate the
equal
mental
points.
health crisis among both active duty personnel and veterans right now? I think everybody can kind of agree this is a big
Right. Let's
and
look at the bed.
main topic that a lot of people focus on right now.
So when I joined the Navy, 30 plus years ago, it was taboo to talk about myself. It was a sign of weakness, it was a sign of your career, and even if it really wouldn't, there was a stigma that it would. Today, it's okay to say you're struggling, it's okay to say you have problems.
Did
Now we don't
Alice
have that
Asher
level.
suffer from nosebleeds?
So I would say we need to incentivize programs to get college kids into the medical professions. The government and everybody.
An inscription in German. Souvenir of our honeymoon in the Black Forest. To my Alice forever, Franz
Over
Asher.
the last decade or so.
The Ashers were a lovely couple when they were young.
Traveling in the military and received the care. But I do also think there's an incredible amount of work to still do. One of the things
Eagle points. Man, I'm getting all kind of eagle points, huh?
handle is the continuum of care.
The picture is
when you
completed.
have service members who have now stepped up and said, I need support, I'm not feeling well with my mental health. The idea that you get out of the service and then you have to go navigate the mental health industry in the field to find the next person to care for you is maybe where we can do better.
Yeah, bottom line, we owe it to our men and women who swore an oath to protect and defend. And it's time, I think Congress step up to say we owe these people for their service and to step up in ways that they haven't done yet. And I think on top of that too,
It is blocked.
what do? You sit up, get a busted up ankle.
It is blocked.
For a little while. So what? You're still not in the fight. So if I have a brain bruise, why can't I sit out for a while?
It is blocked by something.
It's a stigma of, oh, you're up. Well, if you're injured, you're injured. Oh, yeah. Don't care what type of injury it is.
Thank you to those amazing
It is blocked by something.
Up next, a focus on the flashpoints, where the leading presidential candidates stand. And the top threat
It is
to
blocked
America,
by something.
call it the axis of
It is blocked by something.
Alright, so
These drawings appear to be attached to the chest of drawers. They won't move.
Introducing Paisana, the authentic pizza oven by Granite Stone. Now make the world's most delicious pizza with real stone.
These drawings appear to be attached to the chest of drawers. They won't move.
Make golden, crispy, extra cheesy stone-baked pies in under 6 minutes. Pepperoni, mushroom, Hawaiian, barbecue, all hot.
These drawings appear to be attached to the chest of drawers. They won't move.
Controlled heat zones. They quickly heat the real ceramic stone up to 800 degrees while melting the cheese and crisping the crust, so you can stone bake
These drawings appear to be
in under 6 minutes. Look, take any pizza dough, sauce, add your favorite toppings, and you're making gourmet pizza with Paisano. Paisano lets you
Such a pretty decoration should be at the center of the motif to respect the symmetry.
prosciutto, taco, breakfast, stuffed crust, even chocolate dessert buns. Plus, you can watch them rise right before your eyes. And unlike soggy oven pies, Paisano pizza comes out extra crispy. Even bake your favorite frozen pies in a fraction of the time. Plus, there's no gas, wood, or charcoal needed. Paisano is electric, plug-in, and portable. Look, you expect to pay over $500 for a professional pizza oven, but you can get the complete Paisano pizza oven system, plus professional peels, the stove state cleaner, and the authentic recipe guide for the special TV discount price of just $179.99. But to really fire up this deal, we'll give you an instant $60 discount. You get it all at incredible value for just $119.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. So call or go on right now to get yours.
To order, call 1-800-431-4703. That's 1-800-431-4703 or go to buypaisano.com. So call 1-800-431-4703 or go online to buypaisano.com now.
I heard a faint sound as if something was unlocked.
Odor eliminator in the world. It's safe for people, pets, and the planet. Powerful enough to eliminate the stink from any organic odor. Yet it's safe
It was that
enough
easy?
to pet toys. They're
Ah,
not
man.
So why would
gotta
you
be more
use any
complicated.
product that doesn't totally eliminate the stink? There's only one. Pooh. Available online and at these stores. And it's not poo. It stinks.
These drawings appear to be attached to the chest of drawers. They won't move.
You. Or congrats, Gail, on the new hip. If there's one flower that can stay at home, it's the yellow tulip.
Is it double click or single click?
It is
Back
blocked.
now in San Diego, our next presidential election comes amid global crises, from the Middle East to Ukraine to growing concerns about China's ambitions. It's a significant list of threats. We asked Jason
it's a
Delaney to help
multi-puzzle.
make sense of it all.
This is evidence released by Ukraine Security Service that this, which is this, was one of these. North Korean ballistic missile. Signaling to the White House that A so-called axis of upheaval, authoritarian enemies of America, is coalescing and enhancing one another militarily. Russia replenishing its missile stocks with ones made in North Korea. In return, Moscow believed to be helping Pyongyang acquire spy satellites and submarines and develop more advanced nuclear missiles. Iran
it is blocked.
missiles and drones
Okay,
to attack Ukraine.
this is a little bit more complicated than I thought.
Currently providing Tehran advanced fighter jets and air defenses. China, in an alleged violation of U.S. sanctions, transferring microchips and other military components to Russia. Moscow reciprocating by helping Beijing with its submarine and anti-ship weaponry programs. China also bankrolling the Russian and Iranian weapons spending spree, snubbing sanctions and buying up their oil.
These four countries like giant termites.
So this one is going that way, sideways.
They're chopping away at the benefits of the international system.
China is chair of the Eurasia Group, international political risk consultant. If these four countries perceive that the U.S. is pulling back, doesn't want to be the world's police force, what do they do with that?
The real prize here is the shape and nature of the international
That one is upside down.
couple decades.
International Crisis Consulting Group in their 2024 Global Risk Assessment warned about the Middle East, saying the region is a tinderbox, and the number of players carrying matches makes the risk of escalation exceptionally high.
I think the Iranians came very close when they shot 320 cruise missiles and drones at Israel.
That one.
We're not looking to shot all down.
Sideways the other way.
I intended to have some of those get through. If that had happened, we'd be living in a very world right now.
This one is sideways the other way.
It will also be a different world if Russia is ultimately rewarded for its war on Ukraine. Might makes right victory would be one for all in the axis of upheaval. Jason Bellini, Scripps News, Washington.
All of this comes in the midst of the presidential campaign now hitting a higher gear. How different would it look if former President Trump were to return to the White House? What about another 4 years of President Biden? Here's our White House correspondent, Haley Bull.
The presidential election stands to shape how the United States responds to significant global conflicts.
The United States stepped off the world stage like Trump wants us to do. Who would lead the world?
President Biden has emphasized democratic values in the U.S.'s global leadership. He's out to strengthen U.S. alliances, particularly in Europe and the Indo-Pacific. But the continuing wars in Ukraine and Gaza have dominated his foreign policy agenda.
From Mr. Adam Fleet, Royal Bank, Eastfield Road, Andover, to Mrs. Alice Asher, 5 Bishops Road, Andover. Dear Mrs. Asher, further to your request of 12 February 1935, I have informed my superiors of your wish to apply for a loan to acquire the lease of the shop you rent from Mr. Fairfax. Despite the seriousness of your case, I regret to inform you that your request has been denied. The amount of your personal contribution, £11, is not high enough and represents too small a part of the final transaction. I remain at your disposal for any questions. Adam Fleet. Mrs. Asher's meager savings were not enough for her to own the tobacco shop, but will largely cover her funeral costs.
Welcome back.
President Biden has backed NATO's expansion and rallied international aid in the face of Russia's invasion, even amid Republican opposition.
Medicine.
Trump going to question continued U.S. support for NATO, but recently held back on a forceful opposition to continued Ukraine aid. And he has raised concerns as he expressed
Laudanum-based cough medicine, Mrs. Asher, Andover Morley Laboratory, London. It's strange to find such an elaborate medicine from a leading London laboratory in the home of such a modest woman.
University of Virginia's Miller Center.
What the hell is anti-issues?
Return to the hard-edged, highly competitive trade and military strategy that the Trump administration left off with in 2020. With respect
Medicine.
to the Middle East, I think that what we would probably see is a continued embrace of the
Laudanum-based. It's strange to find such an elaborate medicine from a leading London laboratory in the home of such a modest woman.
The future approach would be some sort of sensitivity to the Palestinian cause.
Package indicated Trump's strategy could be similar to his first term.
Medicine.
That's a very, very difficult task. We don't want to create a
Laudanum-based cough medicine, Mrs. Asher, and Dover Morley Laboratory, London. It's strange to find such an elaborate medicine from a leading London laboratory in the home of...
The global threat evolves.
Coming up next, outrage over the situation in Gaza. For presidential voting or in airborne. Population per capita in America. Our show, Scripps Newsline, is a different kind of nightly news show. We slow things down so we can really take the time to explore a story. You'll see longer interviews, investigations, and in-depth reporting. We know keeping up with the headlines is important, but there are just some stories that really deserve a deeper conversation.
Watch Scripps Newsline, weeknights at 9, only on Scripps News.
If you're paying over $60 a month for streaming TV when you already have locals for free, you're paying too much. Luckily, Sling TV is just $40 a month. That's an unbeatable price for the best of sports, news, and binge-worthy shows. If you've already got the antenna, now add ESPN, TNT, Fox News, CNN, and more for just $40 a month. Sling, the live TV you love. Visit sling.com/antenna and watch now.
I'm Richard Card, and I love my hose. My hose is lightweight. My hose will not kink. And my hose is anti-leak. It ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new pocket hose Copper Bullet, now infused with real copper, so your water is always clean and lead-free. Just turn on the water and watch your hose grow and grow to a full-size 3/4-inch hose. It stretches and expands like a rubber band. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking and squeezing that water out until it's practically bone dry. And that makes it easy to carry and put away. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. And it's wrapped in a new polymer filament jacket, similar to the technology used in forest fire hoses because it's light and tough. 3 times stronger than the other hoses. It's guaranteed for 10 years. Nearly impossible to tear or snag. And the redesigned filter protector helps stop leaks at the spigot. But my favorite part of our new hose build? The oversized, easy-to-grip fittings. Easy on and off. Even
Easy on and off.
With more than 100 patents worldwide, it's the best pocket hose in the world. Get the super light 25-foot pocket hose copper bullet today for only $29.99. Okay, call now and get our copper spray bottle with our exclusive thumb drive free. Simply use your thumb to turn off and on. And with 10 unique patterns, you'll have a setting for every job. It's a $30 value, yours free with every 50-foot copper bullet, but it's not available in stores. This is an exclusive release of our newest pocket hose. There is a strict limit of 3 per order, so don't wait. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-401-8930 or visit copperbullethose.com. So call 1-800-401-8930 or visit copperbullethose.com. Order now.
The political landscape in the U.S. has changed drastically.
Antihistamine is a drug or substance that is used to suppress or relieve coughing. Oh, okay.
The first Arab-American majority city in the country.
They work on a part of the brain that controls the action of coughing.
President Biden's handling of the war.
Antihistamines can be either oral or topical. Example of oral antihistamines include dextromethorphan
It's 2 options.
Methorphan and codeine. Topical versions include camphor and menthol. Camphor, they are often used for the treatment of cough and cold symptoms. However, it's important to note that the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, does not approve their use in children or people under the age of 18 due to their ineffectiveness and potential side effects.
618,000 votes
for costs that last longer than 2 weeks or that do not improve with medication, a person should consider contacting a doctor. So it's a cost suppressant.
154,000 votes.
That is a
I did not know that.
Could end up determining the outcome, actually, in a state that's going to be as close as Michigan.
come November, what are you guys strategizing towards? We're not thinking about
We're strategizing to beat the fuck out of Donald Trump.
And doing everything every day to lead up to that ballot
Making Whitmer with
at the state rep level, to get the U.S. Congress
with,
level, the Senate
what can he
level, so
Whitmer
that we
with?
can have people represent.
I don't know. He's making Whitmer.
It's not like those folks are going to go and vote for Trump. But any vote that doesn't go to Biden is a benefit for Trump. And I think Michigan is a state that is absolutely critical for Joe Biden's path to 270 electoral votes.
A recent Harvard Harris poll shows Democrats overall support Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict. And Professor Delio says for Biden, the balancing act is going to be tough.
He may end up eliminating both sides.
I think when we say you guys are Americans, you guys should be focusing on issues that are impacting Americans here.
Oh, yeah,
Our largest budget is our military budget. And when we want to up our military budget and increase our military budget, the first things we cut from is healthcare and education. And healthcare and education plagues brown and black communities across this country.
For Scripps News, I'm Faraz Javed.
Back now from San Diego in our closing moment together.
Well, he just looks at himself.
Sometimes feel like they couldn't be further or more disconnected from what happens in Washington. On the one hand, it's true. We're some 2,600 miles away with a unique set of local challenges. On the other hand, as we've seen this half hour,
This interior is very
has a
simple.
direct impact on our country and our communities. The commitment from us here at Scripps News is to cover the national and global issues with a focus on our American cities and towns. The path to the White House runs through Scripps country. For now, in San Diego, I'm Lindsay Pena for Scripps News Reports.
Simple tap. Huh? No stove.
Mrs. Asher lived very simply.
I still can't believe she's gone. These past few days have been a whirlwind.
There's so much to arrange. I just wasn't prepared.
But you're not ruffles.
Yeah.
What a strange box. It looks like you have to slide the slats of wood to open it.
I know. I didn't want to talk about it. I'm glad she made us do it.
And the payment is on the way already. It really was as fast as they said.
Your mother always made sure we were prepared.
I can't believe you both were able to qualify with your health issues.
That's why we chose United of Omaha. Insurance company. There were no health. There were no medical exams, and our acceptance was guaranteed.
Your family prepared for the financial burden when your time comes. If you are between 45 and 85, you automatically qualify for up to $25,000 in life insurance coverage with United of Omaha. Policies start at just $6.38 a month, and your acceptance is guaranteed. You cannot be turned down for any health reason. There are no medical exams and no health questions. Plus, benefits can be paid within 24 hours, and unlike some policies, are payable from day one.
I didn't think you would be able to get a life insurance policy with fixed income.
With United of Omaha, policies start at just $6.38 a month. And with the rate one guarantee, my rate is locked in for life.
A funeral could cost more than $9,000, and prices rise each year. Have you helped prepare your family to pay for these expenses when you're gone? With one call, in as little as 5 minutes, you can qualify for up to $25,000 in life insurance coverage.
Just like your mom, taking care of us even after she's gone.
Help take care of your loved ones after you're gone with a guaranteed acceptance life insurance policy from United of Omaha today.
Call 800-921-2464. That's 800-921-2464. 800-921-2464. Call today.
Today on Scripps News Weekend, 4 Israeli hostages are rescued in a daring raid by Israeli forces in Gaza. Israel's Prime Minister vowing to bring home the remaining hostages as well. And in Paris, the U.S. and French presidents welcoming news of the hostage rescue, both saying they hope a ceasefire can be reached soon. Plus, President Biden's son facing federal gun charges. Will his lawyers decide to put him on the stand?
Okay.
This button appears to activate a mechanism.
Happy Saturday and welcome to Scripps News Weekend, I'm Erin Rogers. The Israeli Defense Forces now reporting that 4 Israel hostages are safe after being rescued from Gaza. The IDF says Hamas militants took Noah Armani, Almog Nirjan, Andrei Kozlov, and Shalomi Ziv hostage during a music festival on October 7th. They're now under observation at the Sheba Medical Center in Tel Aviv, where the IDF says they are listed in good condition. Well, earlier, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with the hostages at the hospital. Shortly after, made a speech vowing to bring back all of the hostages.
We're committed to getting the release of all the hostages. We expect Hamas to release them all. If they don't, we'll do whatever it takes to get them all back.
International correspondent Sarah Coates joins us from Israel with details of that daring rescue.
Certainly amazing news for the families of these hostages who've been now reunited with their family members after being held in the Gaza Strip by Hamas for more than 8 months. Now these people are Noah Armani, Almog Nirjan, Andrei Kozlov, and Shalomi Ziv. They were all down at the Nova party on October 7 when Hamas stormed the fence, took many hostages, and also killed a lot of people down in those southern communities. Now, we heard from the IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari. He says that the operation took place in daylight and that Israeli forces exchanged fire with Hamas militants who were holding the hostages, adding that they were then taken by soldiers to 2 locations, to 2 different helicopters under fire and were brought back to Israeli territory. He added that the operation was planned for weeks and hundreds of soldiers took part in it. Now, you may remember this young female hostage, Noah Armani. Her mother has been pleading with Hamas to release her daughter. She is critically ill, so it certainly is such good news for these families. We've also heard from the War Cabinet member Benny Gantz. He came out to say that his heart is full, praising soldiers and the Shin Bet for what he is calling a complicated and brave operation. Now, this operation to bring back these living hostages is the largest. It now makes the number of hostages who've been rescued by Israeli forces to 7, although there is, of course, still a lot of concern for these remaining Israeli hostages who are still being held in the Strip.
It is blocked.
Sarah Coates, Scripps News, Tel Aviv.
Well, despite the rescue of those 4 hostages, fighting in the war continues and the death toll is climbing. At least 47 people were killed during clashes overnight. It included that raid where the hostages were rescued. The Gaza Health Ministry says there are several victims still trapped under rubble. First responders aren't able to reach them by road. The hostage rescue by Israeli forces now delaying, though, an expected announcement, signaling the breakup of Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's emergency government. Last month, Benny Gantz, the leader of Israel's opposition National Unity Party, and a member of the government's war cabinet, gave an ultimatum to Netanyahu, said his party will leave the government if the cabinet doesn't approve a strategy for the war in Gaza by June 8th, which is today. Middle East analysts believe that Gantz's exit would remove a top moderate voice on the war, leading Netanyahu to dismantle the war cabinet altogether. Gantz's departure would also likely increase pressure on the prime minister from other conservatives to take an even more hardline approach to the war in Gaza, which could include taking steps against the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank and escalating attacks against Hezbollah.
That should do it.
President Joe Biden, along with France's president, both welcoming the news of the hostage rescue during a state visit today in France.
I want to echo President Macron's comments welcoming the safe rescue of 4 hostages.
A necklace of bright blue stones.
We won't stop working until all
A necklace of bright blue stones.
That is essential.
Hamas is still holding more than 100 hostages in Gaza. Meanwhile, the French president and Biden are preparing for a state dinner this evening after a day of meetings. International correspondent Ross Cullen has more details on the 2 leaders' visit.
To my dear old Alice, Marie
in northern France for the D-Day commemorations, President Biden spent the day on Saturday in Paris for an official
Have you found anything?
He and Emmanuel Macron, his host, the French president, were
The victim has a niece. We must find her.
for lighting a flame at the grave of the unknown soldier, also laying a wreath There was a lot of ceremony with the American and
Let us
French
now
national
try
anthems
and
being
get our
played
brain
and
cells to
review
work.
Of the troops. After that, the two men went back to the Elysee Palace, which is the French equivalent of the White
Yeah,
House.
you
They had a
are
working
making
lunch, and then
little gray
after
cells
that
work.
lunch, there were
The aim
official
is to
statements
answer the
to the
questions.
press.
He
Both
asks
men spoke
himself
about the
by
Middle East,
establishing
celebrating the release of four more hostages held by Hamas and calling for the release of all the hostages who are still being held by the group. And also they called for an immediate and lasting ceasefire. They did also speak about Ukraine. Both Washington and Paris are firm backers of the Ukrainian armed forces. Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, was also here himself in Paris on Friday for talks with both the leaders. President Biden did also speak about Ukraine, and we can listen in now to a little bit more of what he had to say about the conflict.
This
week we have shown the world once again
no railway guide for sale in a tobacco shop.
what we can achieve when we stand together. After this relationship,
She was planning on taking a trip.
United States
No object of value for sale in the shop.
we see it in Ukraine.
The body was found at about 11 a.m.
As they fight off aggression.
After the media statements, the final engagement on Saturday was the state dinner. President Biden and his wife, the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, were welcomed back to the Elysee Palace by Emmanuel Macron and his wife, Brigitte Macron, for the formal dinner and the formal toasts. On Sunday, the final engagement for the president during his 5-day trip here to France will be a trip to the east of Paris to visit the Ain Cemetery. Now, on Thursday and Friday, all the focus was on World War II in commemorating the D-Day landings. On Sunday, the focus turns to World War I. At that graveyard, the Ain Cemetery, more than 2,000 soldiers from the United States have been laid to rest. They were killed fighting in and around the Marne Valley in eastern France in the summer of 1918, and President Biden and his wife will be laying a wreath at the cemetery. Ross Cullen, Scripps News, Paris.
Coming up Monday starts week 2 of Hunter Biden's trial, but should the president's son take the stand in his own defense? We take that question to the experts. And it's National Barbecue Week. How you can make the most of your next summer cookout. Coming up.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves in getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got it. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, you've got that too. Even the flip phones like the Iris Flip. For someone that doesn't
So
know
it's not one for the guy. No, how do I answer no?
And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our Smart Flex feature, you don't have to sweat it.
Okay, so
And end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty. So you only pay for what you actually need.
But Consumer Cellular can give you that same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
The motive is definitely not financial gain. There is no sign of a struggle, and the deal has not been forced or ended. I think I've looked everywhere here. Let us see if I can find any more information in the shop's surroundings.
Is it easy?
Easy as fun.
See that tower up there? Thousands more. And for me, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We don't know what coverage is. That's why we look for free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation,
Bessie the line in front 30.
oh look.
We have customers reminding only 2 months of service free when they sign up by July 31st. Call 1-800-485-8390 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Huh?
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to tell you what your case
Mrs. Asher was killed here. The absence of marks in the shop and the regular shape of the blood stains indicated beyond a doubt.
Well, just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault You don't have an attorney? Give us a call right now.
I think we
We'll let
explained
you know
the
what your
presence of an
case is
agency guy
potentially
on
worth.
the counter.
Thanks, Rob. So what kind of calls have you been seeing today?
Well, Gina, we're
She
going to
explained on taking a
types
trip.
of accidents today. Work
The
accidents,
railway guy
slip
for
and
stealing a
fall, truck
tractor.
accidents, and most commonly,
Presence.
car accidents. So if you were injured in an accident, it's not
sign
your fault,
announcing
you
this-
don't have an attorney,
announcing
take that
the
first
end of a
step,
murder.
pick up that phone and give us a call. We're going to answer
I'll
your
give us
questions and
shot.
we'll let you know how much money you can get for your accident.
Thanks, Rob. All right,
There are
folks at
no
home, you heard it. Go
Good.
ahead, don't hesitate. Take that first step and call now.
How do we explain the presence?
Thanks for staying with us. Hunter Biden's legal team, they're huddling up this weekend to decide if the president's son will take the stand when court reconvenes Monday morning. Scripps News legal affairs correspondent Agatha Burnett has followed the case for Scripps News Weekend from Delaware.
And Hunter Biden's defense attorney may call one or two witnesses on Monday. Friday, we heard from his daughter, Naomi Biden, who testified that she never saw her father using drugs. Naomi Biden testified her father struggled with addiction, especially after his brother, Beau Biden, died in 2015. She said in summer of 2018, he was in rehab in California, and it was the clearest she'd seen him in a long time. She testified that she borrowed her father's vehicle to move. She never saw drugs inside.
The murderer deliberately left behind this ABC as a signature. The absence of fingerprints and the fact that it is open at letter A for Andover leaves little doubt.
Prosecutors also revealed text messages between Naomi
Serial
and her
killer?
father. When it appeared, she had a tough time getting in contact with him when she tried to return the vehicle she had borrowed. She wrote, "I am really sorry, Dad. I can't take this. I miss you so much. I just want to hang out with you." Hunter responded, "I'm sorry if this is so unreachable. It's not fair to you." Hunter Biden faces 3 federal gun charges for a weapon he bought in 2018. Prosecutors believe he checked the box on a form that said he was not addicted to any drugs when he bought that weapon.
She's a
A statement
suspect?
he knew was false.
Why is she a
Hunter
suspect?
Biden is pleaded not guilty in this case and faces 25 years behind bars. And this trial was set to last for about 2 weeks. Monday will mark the start of November 2. Agatha Burnett, Scripps News, Wilmington, Delaware. Well, the trial of President Biden's son has seen some damaging testimony this week. For a look at where the case goes next, we're joined by federal defense attorney Jan Bronis. Jan, thank you so much for being here. We know that Hunter's daughter,
Tobacco shop surrounded.
well, Naomi testified yesterday as a so-called surprise witness. So can you just talk about why that was a surprise?
Well, under the federal rules of criminal procedure, you have to let the prosecution know the witnesses you intend to call.
So, shop is open now?
It was a surprise to the prosecution, it may have been a surprise to the press. And so,
£4 letters, a lovely lot letters, £4 only.
Speaking of Hunter Biden, Biden doesn't deny the drug use. He doesn't deny buying the gun. So what
This
exactly
woman
is the
appears to be a
strategy for the
smoker.
defense heading into court on Monday?
I don't think there's any question that
An extinguished cigarette?
probably the past, and I don't think there's any doubt that he purchased a gun. Really, the issue in this trial is to what were at the time he purchased a gun and signed the form that he was a drug addict. And so the
Box of matches?
whether he was, fall down the road or
She's a big smoker. She must have been a customer at the tobacco shop.
because of the surrounding circumstances, which would might indicate that in fact he was still addicted to cocaine at the time of the purchase.
Jan, earlier this week in the New York Times, we saw that a former Justice Department official wrote that Biden's attorney should seek a plea deal right
Did you know
now.
Alice Asher
What
well?
is your
And for
assessment
starters, who
of
are
that
you?
recommendation?
I'm Hercule Poirot, the detective.
You're foreign, that's for sure, with your accent and your odd way about you. And you're here about Alice's murder, I suppose. Well, I've nothing to say to you.
Did you speak to the victim yesterday?
No, I never saw her.
Discussions in an effort to settle it, we just couldn't resolve. And the trial is, although unusual, for Madame
Please try and help me, madame.
Why should I help you? For your beautiful moustache? Come on, move along now. You're scaring away the customers.
Please, do not be
And we know we
ridiculous.
saw one of those plea deals fall apart. But going back to, you had said earlier that you don't think it's likely that Hunter Biden will take this stand. Of course, that's what they're going
I
to
know
decide
that you went to the tobacco shop yesterday.
Well?
But he should take the stand, and why or why not?
It is your duty to tell me if you saw something unusual.
Who do you think you are telling me what to do? Get away from my stall!
Not the least of which everyone has a right not to be a witness against themselves in a criminal trial. But quite frankly, I think from all the reports I see, there's a lot of things he would have to answer that would be difficult.
You again?
And painful.
I've nothing to say.
And undermine his credibility. So I imagine he would exercise what most criminal
You
defendants
again?
would,
I've nothing to say.
not to take the stand and subject himself to probably would be very painful.
A bottle of poor quality vinegar. The smell could awaken the dead.
Undermine his credibility.
All right,
A bottle of poor quality vinegar.
Attorney, thanks so much for your insight this morning.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Well, you can follow the daily testimony in the Hunter Biden case, as well as what's happening in other high-profile trials. Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You're on Scripps News with America on the docket. There's a new development in President Trump's hush money trial. The judge in the case flagging a Facebook post now that claims a juror spoke about the case. The comment posted one day before the verdict and left under a post unrelated to the case said, in part, my cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. You can no longer see that post, and the court hasn't said if it's legitimate or fake. Also, that same day, though, the judge sent a letter allowing Trump's attorney to go to his pre-sentence interview. The judge found, or jury found,
Strawberries, 6 pence a pound!
Hey, Warren, is the greengrocer causing trouble? I'll sort her out.
No, please leave her, Chief Inspector. I'll get her to talk later.
I've found the victim's niece. She's waiting for you in the back of the shop.
Thank you, mon ami. I'll question her.
Trial because some evidence was left out, and other evidence that was allowed should not have been. The appeal comes after his rape
I
conviction
found the
in New
victim's
York was
niece.
overturned in
Thank you,
April.
mon ami. I'll question her.
Some testimony in that trial should not have been allowed. The FBI is also released 400 pages of documents related to O.J. Simpson's murder trial. The former NFL star was acquitted of the 1994 murders of his former wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and his friend, her friend, Ron Colvin. The documents have been
There are
released
cigarette
earlier through the
packets
Freedom of
in a mess
Information
on
Act, but this is the first time that they're being made easily
Japp
available
had
to
the
the
body
public.
removed out
O.J.
of
Simpson
respect
died
for the
in
victim's
April of
niece.
prostate cancer.
His attention is commendable.
Whether it's smothered in a deep red Kansas City style sauce or a yellow mustardy mixture from South Carolina, Americans love their barbecue. Coming up, we'll get some tips from an official pitmaster.
Ils arrivent sincere.
All eyes are going to be on Arizona in 2024. It's such an important state. It's a battleground state. And really, there's just a handful of states that are going to decide who ends up in the White House in November. And Arizona is one of them. You have the Hispanic vote, you have the younger voter, you have the older voter, but really one of the most important
She
voters here in
appears to be
Arizona is
very
the
upset.
independent voter. And
She's
whoever
dressed in
is
mourning.
one way or the
She
other,
looks
that's
fragile.
probably going to decide who takes the vote. I'm Ben Brown, Scripps News in Phoenix. Force Factor Total Beats is the #1 Beats brand in America. That's why friends and family recommend Total Beats. Now you can find Total Beats blood pressure chews at Walmart, so you can boost nitric oxide, support blood pressure, and improve heart health. Rush to Walmart and find Total Beats. For centuries, the world's best pizza has been baked in ovens made of stone. But you can't put one of those on a countertop in your home. Introducing Paisano, the authentic pizza oven by Planet Stone. Now make the world's most delicious pizza with real stone right in your own home. You simply set it and let it make golden, crispy, extra cheesy stone-baked pies in under 6 minutes. Pepperoni, mushroom, Hawaiian, barbecue, all hot, fresh, and easy to do with Paisano. The secret is the dual-control heat zones. They quickly heat the real ceramic stone up to 800 degrees while melting the cheese and crisping the crust so you get stone-baked just like the pros in under 6 minutes. Paisano lets you create large, specialty, family-sized pies, meat lovers, prosciutto, taco, breakfast, stuffed crust,
even chocolate dessert buns. Plus, you can watch them rise right before your eyes. And unlike soggy oven pies, Paisano Pizza comes out extra crispy. Even bake your favorite frozen pies in a fraction of the time. Plus, there's no gas, wood, or charcoal needed. Paisano is electric, plug-in, and portable. Look, you spent to pay over $500 for a professional pizza oven, but you can get the complete Paisano pizza oven system, plus professional deals, the stove-safe cleaner, and the authentic recipe guide for the special TV discount price of just $179.99. But to really fire up this deal, we'll give you an instant $60 discount. You get it all at incredible value for just $119.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. So call or go on the way down to get yours.
To order, call 1-800-430-6438. That's 1-800-430-6438, or go to buypaisano.com. So call 1-800-430-6438 or go online to buypaisano.com now.
Reback, a luxury resale marketplace, curated with an eye for detail, where every piece is carefully vetted by our expertly trained team. Reback, get 10% off your first purchase with Reback TV.
News weekend. This week marks National Barbecue Week, so it's time to fire up those grills and pits. The annual occasion is held the first week of June, right in time for the official start of summer. Whether it's ribs, chicken, burgers, pork chops, we have just the recipe for you this Saturday. Here to show us how to do it right is Pitmaster Errol Roberts. Thanks so much for being here today. I know we were talking a little bit, but can you tell me how you got into it? I know you're from South Florida.
The murderer probably pretended to be a customer. He hit the shopkeeper from behind as he turned around to serve him.
Keep everybody, the young and the older generation, living flash. We start cooking to the park, and the older guys showed me how to barbecue and
So you're in the park barbecue. Not all meats are cooked equally, but let's go for the ribs, because tell us what you have first of all.
I've finished with this subject.
The ribs, that's the number one seller. Mac and cheese.
And the baked beans are a card.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're looking at me rather strangely.
Behind making the perfect rib.
Please excuse me, Mademoiselle Drower.
Is it just a soul feeling?
Well, it's like, your mom teach you how to cook it. You gotta be about putting love in it, You gotta season it. It's about, it's a passion.
You were very fond of your aunt, am I right?
She was the only family I had since my mother died.
They get happy and joyful by eating food, so it's my passion for me.
Absolutely.
Your aunt did not have any children, is that correct?
No. She was separated from her husband.
What do you think about Franz Asher, your aunt's husband?
He never left her alone. Poor aunt.
That's right.
She used to drop by all the time and make a scene.
We have the barbecue chicken, regular barbecue chicken. We have mac and cheese, baked beans, green beans, corn, potato salad. So we have a fast burger stuff. So.
Would you say there's a perfect size to go along with barbecue?
Was your aunt afraid of her husband?
He shouted a lot, but she wasn't afraid of him. Why, he used to slink away when she turned on him. He was afraid of her, if you like.
I see you have the ribs sauced up and you have...
Did your aunt enjoy good health?
She had a bad throat, but she was well cared for by a doctor in London.
Does Franz Asher work?
All he's done for years is drink and gamble, but he used to be a very good cabinet maker.
What does he live on?
My aunt used to give him 5 shillings a week.
But because of the tag, it was sweet. I'm just ready a little bit to add my little flavor to it. So it definitely.
Why did she support such a good for nothing?
He was her husband. She couldn't leave him with nothing.
I understand. You have been of great assistance, mademoiselle.
Maybe starting off or wanting to become a pet master like yourself.
Well, I take some
Please take this young lady home.
My pleasure.
Well, this Franz Asher does not seem to be quite so dangerous as Jeff said. And this Alice Asher gave him money regularly. It was not in his interest to kill her.
That night. And then I slow cook it in the morning and go from there. I don't know. As soon as I see it, I put on the grill. That's how I was taught, so it worked for me.
All right, guys, the time has come. I gotta try it. And you told me you didn't want me to try with the sauce just yet.
Right.
So I'm gonna dig. I get
So.
Because I know my coworkers will want some, so I'm gonna try not to put my fingers on it, on all of it. Okay. Well, this fell off the bone.
They all fall off the
And
bone.
it fell off the
Even
bone.
the chicken, they fall off the bone.
Okay, I'm gonna try
Okay.
this part.
She is Alice's Archer's niece, right? Was her only family. She confirmed that Alice
Can taste.
Franz Archer is lying. He was afraid of his wife. Give him 5 shillings.
And what wood do you use?
5 shillings.
What do you use? Char. Oh, okay.
She was a fruit and vegetable shop.
Much out here. All right, now I'm gonna try it with, because you said you like the mustard. Get my hands dirty. That's what part is all about. I'm not a mustard-based fan. My mom's gonna tell me talking my mouth full. But the sauce is good.
Compliments to me. You know, if you could eat barbecue without sauce, you got barbecue.
And that is what we have.
Good chicken along.
That's right.
All right, Headmaster, thank you, Errol. I really appreciate you bringing all this in.
Thank you so
Now it's
much.
time to bring it on in.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's going to make you hungry enough. Some good news if you just have to have your Starbucks fix, but can't get to a Starbucks. Starbucks and Grubhub, they are teaming up to boost lagging sales. The coffee chain says most of its food and beverage items will be available through the delivery provider starting this month. The partnership is already live in some states. Starbucks says that will expand to the rest of the country by August. I'm Erin Rogers in Atlanta. The news continues here at Scripps.
I have, over my 30 years, seen many patients who have excessive sweating. It is very much a confidence killer. Excessive sweating is not something you have to live with. I recommend Carpe for my patients.
Carpe is by far the most effective antiperspirant I've ever used.
I love Carpe. Now I don't sweat.
Effective and affordable. It's a game changer.
Choose a solution that stops the odor and the sweat while being gentle on skin. Get customized sweat care that works with limited time free shipping at mycarpe.com.
Why is Navage perfect for allergies?
People who have allergies will have lots of problems. If someone's exposed to allergens, they can get rid of those immediately by washing out the nose. Navage works by pulling saline into one nostril, through the nose and out the other nostril, sucking out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs. Experience on-the-spot relief so you can breathe easier, sleep better, feel healthier. If you have seasonal allergies, Navage can help.
Available at major retailers or online at Navage.com.
Attention parents of children diagnosed with cerebral palsy, Erb's palsy, or another birth injury. If you suspect that a medical mistake may have occurred at or near the time of birth, your child may have important legal rights. Call Science and Current for a free case evaluation. Cerebral palsy is a permanent disability that may be the result of brain damage suffered during pregnancy, delivery, or shortly after birth. A failure to follow the proper standard of care may be the cause of your child's injury. A lifetime of medical care can cost millions of dollars. Protect your family and find out whether financial compensation may be available. Cases are also being investigated for children diagnosed with Erb's palsy, also known as shoulder dystocia or brachial dystocia. If you suspect that your child's disability could have been prevented, don't wait. Get a free case evaluation.
Call 1-800-596-2340. That's 1-800-596-2340.
Today on Scripps News Weekend, 4 Israeli hostages are rescued in a daring raid by Israeli forces in Gaza. Israel's Prime Minister vowing to bring the remaining hostages as well. And in Paris, the U.S. and French presidents welcoming news of the hostage rescue, both saying they hope a ceasefire can be reached soon. Plus, President Biden's son facing federal gun charges while his lawyers decide to put him on the stand. Happy Saturday and welcome to Scripps News Weekend. I'm Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, the football star?
Now reporting that 4 Israel hostages are safe after being rescued from Gaza. The IDF says Hamas militants took Noah Armani, Almog Mirjan, Andrei Kozlov, and Shalomi Ziv hostage during a music festival on October 7th. They're under observation at the Sheba Medical Center in Tel Aviv, where the IDF says they are listed in good condition. Well, earlier, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with shortly after, made a speech vowing to bring back all of the hostages.
All right, I'm just going to conclude. I'm missing that clue.
International correspondent Farkas joins us from Israel with details of that hearing.
What time was she killed?
Certainly amazing news for the families of these hostages who've been now reunited with their family members after being held in the Gaza Strip by Hamas for more than 8 months. Now these people are Noah Armani, Almog Mirjan, Andrei Kozlov, and Shlomi Ziv. They were all down at the Nova party on October 7th when Hamas stormed the fence, took many, many hostages, and also killed a lot of people down in those southern communities. Now, we
have to wait for him to sleep it off. He's all yours, Poirot. There are a few things I need to check.
There must be some way of sobering him up.
I wonder what his wife used to do. He must have scared the customers away.
To 2 locations, to 2 different helicopters under fire, and brought back 2 Israeli troops. He added that the operation was planned for weeks, and hundreds of soldiers took part in it. Now,
he doesn't work at the moment. He is a notorious alcoholic with a violent and aggressive temperament.
To release her daughter, she is critically ill, so it certainly is such good news for these families. We've also heard from the War Cabinet member Benny Gantz, who came out to say that his heart is full, praising soldiers and the Shin Bet for what he is calling a complicated and brave operation. Now, this operation to bring back these living hostages is the largest. It now makes the number of hostages who've been rescued by Israeli forces to 7, although there is, of course, still a lot of concern for these remaining Israeli hostages who are still being held in the Strip. Sarah Coates, Scripps News.
There are cigarette packets in a mess.
Despite the rescue of those 4 hostages, fighting in the war continues and the death toll is climbing. At least 47 people were killed during bombings overnight, included that raid where the hostages were rescued.
No, it's just some
ministry says there are several victims still trapped under rubble. First responders are able to reach them by road. The hostage rescued by Israeli forces now with expected announcements signaling a breakup of Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's emergency government. Last month, Benny Gantz, the leader of Israel's opposition National Unity Party, and a member of the government's war cabinet, gave an ultimatum to Netanyahu, said his party will leave the government if the cabinet doesn't approve a strategy for the war in Gaza.
It's Alice Asher's notebook. Ah, that's interesting. It probably contains information about our possible debtors and creditors.
The war cabinet altogether. His departure would also likely increase pressure on Prime Minister from other conservatives.
The fruit seller has debt too. She will probably be more cooperative thanks to this piece of information. Mary Drower was telling the truth. Mrs. Asher regularly gave money to her alcoholic husband.
Welcoming the news of a hostage rescue during a state visit today in Britain.
I will echo President Macron's comments.
A box of new stockings.
For a return to a friend like this. We won't stop working until all the hostages come home and a ceasefire is reached. That is essential to happen.
is not in any condition to be questioned. I have to find a way to sober him up.
Meanwhile, the French president and Biden are preparing for a state
That bag of strawberries on his nuts.
International correspondent Ross Collin has more from Paris on the two leaders' visit.
Matchbox, tobacco, cigarettes,
Well, after 2 days
cigar.
in northern France for the D-Day commemoration,
Cigars,
President Biden
cigarettes,
spent the day on
matches,
Saturday in
tobacco.
Paris for an official state visit.
And
He and
tobacco.
Emmanuel Macron, his host, the French president, were in the morning at the Arc de Triomphe for lighting a flame at the grave of the unknown soldier, also laying a wreath. There was also ceremony with the American and French national anthems being played and a review of the troops. After that, the two men went back to the Élysée Palace, which is the French equivalent of the White House. There they had a working lunch, and then after that lunch, there were official statements.
Your foot is rotten.
What? A foreigner dares to say that?
According to the victim's account book, you owed her £10 for tobacco and magazines.
That's a lie. She owed me £1. I swear.
They did also speak about Ukraine. Both Washington and Paris are firm backers of the Ukrainian armed forces.
Now, please be so kind as to explain this.
Look at my account book. Alice owed me £11 for fruit and vegetables. I may have had a slate at her shop, but she had one at mine. She owed me £1. And that reminds me I have to get it back from her niece.
That is quite enough. Your account book has saved you. But I might ask Chief Inspector Jack to throw you in the cells for 1 or 2 nights while he checks your entries. Do you want to go to prison?
Prison? Now that's not fair. I haven't done nothing.
In that case, I am counting on your full collaboration.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Listen, I didn't kill Alice, I swear. But it's true that I did go to the shop yesterday.
At what time?
6 o'clock. She left me a note saying she wanted some strawberries if I got some. I received them late, about 6. So I took them over to her.
But you did not see her.
She wasn't in the shop, so I just put the strawberries on the counter and left.
On Sunday, the focus turns to World War I. At that graveyard, the Aman Cemetery, more than 2,000 soldiers from the United States have been laid to rest. They were killed fighting in and around the Marne Valley in eastern France in the summer of 1918. And President Biden and his wife will be laying a wreath at the cemetery.
Did you see anything unusual in the shop?
No. Well, maybe one thing. There was a railway guide on the counter. Alice didn't sell them. Maybe it's the customer who left it there.
You were not allowed?
I thought Alice had just gone to get her medicine from her room and that she'd be straight back.
You mentioned medicine.
Something for her cough. She used to take it a lot.
Who do you think killed her?
France. Her scoundrel of a husband. He was always after her for something. Well, he's a foreigner. Sorry, sir. What I mean is he's German. That's even worse.
Did you see Franz Asher enter the tobacco shop late yesterday afternoon?
Well, no. But at that time of the day, the streets are packed, and I have better things to do than watch her shop.
I'll just borrow your bottle a moment.
Take it. It's what Alice used to sober up her husband. But try not to empty the bottle.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Stay tuned to get an all-new Ballard Howell Biotic Bud Light for 50% off. Last year, over 100 million packages were stolen. Worse yet, over 500,000 homes were broken into. The party's over, Fort Fires, brothers. This is the Biotic Solar Bud Light from Ballard Howell. It showers a massive ultra-bright light all the way from your house to the road or the whole backyard. Plus, it's solar powered, so it's free to operate. When prowlers, strokes, motion sensors activate, and bam, they go bye-bye. Plus, it expands your outdoor living space, making yards, patios, and walkways brighter. This next-generation solar-powered light features 120 high-intensity LED bulbs on 3 separate adjustable panels, delivering multi-directional light. It installs in seconds, anywhere. No wonders. Or shake it to the ground. And customize the panels anywhere you want light. Look, your electric's in weak, but what?
That's Bionic Light Power. Check out the difference before and after. Which home looks safer to you? The Bionic Floodlight is the ultimate security light standing guard up to 25 feet, keeping your family safer. And you know what critters getting in your trash? Now there's plenty of light to scare them away. It'll light up your life when you pull into a bright driveway. And
that could awaken the dead.
Beautiful light, folks. The Bionic Floodlight delivers safety and style. Look at this yard before and after. It's a night and day difference. Some outdoor solar lights sell for over $150, but you can get the Bionic Solar Floodlight from trusted Bell & Howell for just $29.99. And now, it's free shipping. Plus, it comes with a free remote so you can operate from a distance. Order right now and get a second Bionic Floodlight at 50% off. And it all comes with our Bell & Howell 5-year warranty. The demand has been huge, so don't wait or you can miss out. Order right now.
Die Priority ist to question Asher. Die Priority is to question Asher. He's not in any condition to be questioned. I have to find a way to sober him up.
They're huddling up this weekend to decide if the president's son will take the stand when court reconvenes Monday morning. Scripps News legal affairs.
I gotta do that.
Agatha Christie is following the case from Scripps News Weekend from Delaware. Aaron, Hunter Biden's defense attorney may call one or two witnesses on Monday. Friday, he heard from his daughter, Naomi.
Mes amis, I can say without a doubt that poor Mrs. Asher was killed between 5:30 and 6.
Killed when the street was packed with people. That's rather bold.
I've been talking to the neighbors and...
No one's seen anything? Or rather, it's anything and everything. Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah. We must grill this villain Asher before he falls asleep again.
Highlighted, Naomi didn't have access to the locked center console where a pouch was kept. Prosecutors believe that pouch had a gun and drug residue inside.
This man is in rather a bad state.
Text messages between Naomi and her father. When it appeared, she had a tough time getting in contact with him when she tried to return the vehicle she had borrowed. She wrote, "I am really sorry, Dad. I can't take this. I miss you so much. I just want to hang out with you." Hunter responded, "I'm sorry I've been so unreachable. It's not fair to you." Hunter Biden faces 3 federal gun charges.
What are you looking at me like that?
In 2018, prosecutors believe he checked the box on a form that said he was not addicted to any drugs when he bought that weapon, a statement he knew was false. Hunter Biden is pleaded not guilty in this case.
This man has been fighting and he smells of alcohol.
And this trial was set to last for about 2 weeks. And Monday will mark the start of week number 2. Adam Jordan Burnett, Scripps News, Wilmington, Delaware. Well, the trial of President Biden's son has seen some damaging testimony this week. For a look at where the case goes next, we're joined by federal defense attorney Dan Ronas. Dan, thank you so much for being here. So we know that Hunter's daughter...
Well, he already wrote about it because
Naomi testified
he gets money from his wife.
As a so-called surprise witness. So
are you still married?
Talk about why that was a surprise.
Yeah.
What were you doing yesterday at the time of the crime?
Can't recall.
So it was a surprise to the prosecution, it may have been a surprise to the press. And so,
Come on, my friend. Try to remember. It is important.
I'm really sorry, sir, but I don't remember a thing.
I see. But maybe you do remember threatening to kill your wife?
So what? You shouldn't take things so seriously, sir. Nothing but empty threats. We didn't get on all that badly.
Are you often involved in fights?
I don't know what you mean.
Really, the issue was Charles whether at the time he purchased a gun and signed the form that he was a drug addict. And so the question is whether he was far down the road of recovery and was no longer an addict.
Asher, look me in the eye and tell me that you were in a fight.
I'm looking. No, I wasn't in a fight.
You are right. Looking at the state of you, you did not defend yourself. So someone gave you a good beating.
A beating? No way. All right, he tore my coat and gave me a black eye. You see the state of him?
Very interesting. Who is the other that you struck?
Probably best if I tell you everything. Yesterday afternoon I met Roderick Tavern. We'd bet on a dog fight together.
An illegal bet, naturally.
Yes, sir. Our dog won. Roderick got the money, but he refused to give me my share.
And you thought about it. What time was this?
In the evening, about 6, I think. We were on the other side of town. You see, I couldn't have killed my wife.
We saw one of those plea fall apart, but going back to, you had said earlier...
Asher's alibi appears to be confirmed. All the same, I'm going to call and check that he did have a fight with this Tanner on the afternoon of the murder. You can never trust this sort of chap.
One thing is certain, Asher was a ruffian who used to beat his wife.
But he is not very educated. It certainly was not him who wrote the letter signed ABC. Let's resume, Hastings. We know the murderer pretended to be a customer. He did not kill her for money. That appears to be certain.
I agree with you on that point.
And the murderer left an ABC guide as a signature. Therefore, it's likely he wrote the letter.
Indeed, but that doesn't explain why and how he did it.
You are quite right. Why he did it is a mystery. But as for how he did it, we do know enough to try and reconstruct the events.
Alright, Jan Ernest, Federal Criminal Defense Attorney, thanks so much for your insight this morning.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Please follow the daily testimony in the Hunter Biden case, as well as what's happening in other high-profile trials.
The killer enters the shop.
Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You're on Scripps News with America Updates. There's a new development in President Trump's hush money trial. The judge in the case lacking a Facebook post now that claims a juror...
Mrs. Asher keeps her back turned. The murderer grabs his walking stick. She turns around, he strikes her violently. He then places the ABC on the counter before leaving.
No, the victim has no wound to the temple. And the ABC is not the same as in the crime scene. Let us think again, mon cher.
A jury found Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts related to the hush money payments during the 2016...
The killer enters the shop.
...expected to file an appeal after he's sentenced July 11th. Well, attorneys for Harvey Weinstein are appealing...
Mrs. Asher turns around to greet a customer.
They argue the film mobile didn't get a fair trial because some evidence was left out. Other evidence that was allowed should not have been.
The murderer asks her for some tobacco. She turns her back to him. He seizes the opportunity to strike her.
The FBI is also releasing over 400 pages of documents.
He then places the ABC upside down before leaving.
NFL star was acquitted of the 1994 murder.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
The documents have been released earlier through the Freedom of Information Act, but this is the first time that they're being made easily available to the public. The Jason died in April of prostate cancer.
Asher has a strong alibi and we don't have any other suspect. But what was the point of this crime?
She had no debts. She gave Franz Asher money regularly. She wasn't owed money. Nobody stood to gain anything.
No doubt about it. The murderer is insane.
And I fear that we had not heard the last of him.
I hope you're wrong for once.
Yeah, let's go back to London. If we hurry, we should catch the 7:02 train. Are you coming?
No, unfortunately, I have to talk with Andover police.
See you soon, then. Are you coming, Hastings? Let's go home. There's nothing for us here.
Before we ever gave a product to a patient, I tried it myself, so I started taking supervision.
Well, do you have any idea about the killer's identity?
The crime was committed by a man of medium height, with red hair and suspicious eyes. He has a slight limp on the right foot, and a wart just below his shoulder blade.
Poirot!
Mon ami, what do you want? You fix upon me a look of dog-like devotion and demand of me a pronouncement à la Sherlock Holmes. Now for the truth. I do not know what the murderer looks like, nor where he lives, nor how to set hands upon him.
What shall we do, then?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Do not be so impatient, Hastings. The killer will manifest himself soon enough.
I thought I heard the postman. Maybe there's some news.
I would go and see.
get a free month supply, plus free shipping and a 90-day money-back guarantee on all bundles, exclusively when you call or visit.
All right. So this is like a serial killer.
And welcome everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that we
He's going around
right now
killing people just so Hero can solve the crime.
It's not your fault. Call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. I'm Gina Bellish, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin. So Tom, tell everyone watching at home who should call right now.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the studio. Now, as far as who should call in, the answer is anyone who's been injured in an accident was not your fault should give us a call right now.
Nobody has an interest in killing
her. To answer any questions you may have and
she was killed for sport.
Potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. So what kind of calls are we seeing today?
Well, Jamie, we're getting calls about all types of accidents, but the most common has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, take that first step.
So
we'll answer your questions, and you find out if you have a case.
This is a pretty linear game. The only thing I could have to enjoy this game, I guess, would be the puzzles. Otherwise, I just gotta follow the dots and connect them. All right. So let's leave it at here for today, and we'll come back again some other day. But it doesn't look like I'm going to be playing the other Agatha Christie games, and they're all going to be like this. So, let's see where I go.
Welcome back to Thursday's weekend. This week,
let's see what we got so far. We got the timelines. I thought we had a timeline.
When we receive the first letter, Hastings thinks that it is a joke. As for me, filled with foreboding, I prefer to inform Chief Inspector Jack. Mrs. Asher is not suspicious of the murderer, whom she takes to be an ordinary customer. The old lady turns around to take a packet of cigarettes. She is beaten to death. We investigate the first murder with Hastings. No suspect has a motive.
We went to a park on Scott Park. We're on fellowship out there. We try to keep the community together. So we thought the idea is how to keep everybody, the young and the older generation, with them mesh. So we started cooking to the park, and the older guys showed me how to barbecue, and it took off from there.
And you're in the park barbecuing. We know not only for Christie fully, but let's go for the rest. Because tell us what you have first of all.
Well, I have the pork chops, everybody favorite side. The ribs, that's the number one seller. Mac and cheese.
And the baking.
The killer enters the shop. Mrs. Asher turns around to greet her customer. The murderer asks her for some tobacco. She turns her back to him. He seizes the opportunity to strike her. He then places the ABC upside down before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Everybody happy to enjoy somebody, so it's not passion for me.
Absolutely, that's the heart of cooking. So, do you have a specialty, or did you bring your specialty?
Well, I brought some of the specialties. I can bring all.
Well, tell me some of your other specialties.
Well, we have jerk chicken now. That's on the menu.
Because you're what?
Jamaican.
So you know how to do it, right?
That's right. Okay. We have the barbecue chicken, regular barbecue chicken. We have mac and cheese, baked beans, green beans, corn, potato salad.
With one look.
So we have a vast variety of stuff. So.
Would you say there's a perfect side to go along with barbecue?
Yeah.
What is it?
Anything I cook.
I like that. Not saying it's right.
Oh, you gonna love it.
I know, I love it. It's the smell. It's so hard to get through this interview. Like, it just smells so good.
You gonna love it. Yeah, trust me.
So I see
I did an interrogation
you have
perfection.
up and you have the pork chop seasoned up. When we talk about sauces, so I used to live in Memphis. That was a big thing. You know, we have the Alabama white sauce, the Carolina's mustard base, the vinegar base, just sweet barbecue.
It's all delivered.
What is your favorite sauce, or would you say there's a best of them all?
Well, I prefer the mustard-based sauce.
Why?
But because it's a little tangy, a little sweet.
16% complete.
A little bit of
Eagle Point, 71.
So It definitely was amazing.
Where are the ego points for?
4th of July is coming up for people who are.
I guess the ego.
For people like eating.
Ego points give you
For someone
troubles.
to the grill, maybe starting off or wanting to become
Don't seem right.
yourself.
Considering the way I've been acquiring them.
Don't rush it. Just nice and slow.
So,
just
that's it.
Go from there. It's all about patience.
For today.
Or should we be doing it over?
And, which will continue some other day.
And then,
so until then, goodbye.
And go from there.
Bye, darling.
That's so nasty nothing.
Adios.
So it worked for me.
Goodbye.
All right, guys, the time has come.
The time has come.